Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dave Charlesworth from KAJUKENBO Napoli. Today I've got Senior Grandmaster Hemenes online with me from South Lake Tahoe, California. And I've got Senior Grandmaster Robert New from Hawaii, who's currently out in Egypt, visiting Professor Othman out there at his KAJUKENBO school. So I guess to get this started, Senior Grandmaster New, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody and tell us a little bit about your association? I understand it's called New KAJUKENBO.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Actually, our organization is called New KAJUKENBO Combative Self-Defense, and I'll take that. Combative System and Self-Defense. So it's not a new system of KAJUKENBO, it's just a family name. So there's three of us, three brothers that created this because of our military background in special forces and so forth. So I'm here in Egypt because originally I was coming here on vacation with one of my instructors. But because he was called back to military duty, he had to cancel out. So I had asked Senior Grandmaster Hemenes if his instructor here in Egypt would graciously support my efforts being there, and in turn I would do a seminar with them. So that's how I got here, and at this level of being with Professor Othman. Not much going on except we've been doing great things here for the worldwide KAJUKENBO Federation, and not much to say except if you have questions for me. So.
Well, I appreciate you being there and being our advisor and helping us out, and I kind of like it because it shows the ohana with different associations that everybody gets along and helps each other, and that's how it should be, that everybody helps each other and it'll grow and grow and grow. I heard you having a lot of fun like sightseeing too.
Yes, it's not all training and so forth. They're so kind to take me places and introduce me to people here locally, different arts, martial arts. They have an organization here where they try to bring all the martial arts together so that they have unity and be able to support one another.
Yeah.
I've been seeing quite a bit of different organizations here, kind of supporting Professor Othman's goals here, and also for the WWKF as well. So
I appreciate that. Well, we got a lot of flack with promotion, but give us your thought on Professor Othman as you being a senior grandmaster. Outrank all of us. Your opinion means a lot.
Oh yes. Well, like anything in KAJUKENBO, there's always the individuals who are going to say what they want to say, and that's their own opinion.
Sure.
So when I first, I didn't know who Professor Othman was. So when he graciously accepted to host me here, I just, one of the things I was going to do is go ahead and do an assessment as well for WWKF, just to put away the rumors of what's been said out there about Egypt. I can't say much for Morocco or Kuwait because I haven't met them and I haven't done an assessment of them, but I can say one thing for Egypt. To my surprise, they do train KAJUKENBO. That kind of threw me for a loop because of all the hearsays, and
yeah.
So So when I actually went to work with them, I asked them to show me their some of their forms, and then show me what they can do with the actual practice of the art of KAJUKENBO. So I was really surprised. They are a legitimate school, and I don't say that because I'm here. I say that because I like to look at factual things. And as I sent you that assessment, senior, it was a long. So I gave an assessment of how they're doing, what they need to work on, how to improve on enhancing their schools, and so forth, and the conditions of the type of schools they have here. A lot of people think, wow, they live in a country that's rich with money. Well, that's not true. They live in the country of Egypt is a very poor country, rich in history, but poor in riches as far as money. So I believe the only thing really going for the country of Egypt is probably the tourism for the pyramids and traveling 7-8 hours to the Luxor, which is south of the pyramids. But other than that, it's a poor country. The town is very poor. You can see a lot of the buildings that were built back in the old days by the French, or the French design, they're starting to fall apart. So, but all in all,
tell us about the uniforms, though. You told me earlier about the uniforms.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that part there. The uniform, they don't have quality uniforms here, and what they do is they find someone to make their uniform. It's very poor quality. The belts exceptionally is poor, but they have a smile on their face. They're happy because they're able to train KAJUKENBO. And if you was to see how they live here, the type of uniforms they have, you probably would want to cry. It's that bad, really bad. And they do, if anything, they do need help here because they can't afford it. $50 of $50 US is equate to 1 month of what they make as an income.
Wow. That's crazy.
Very crazy. I couldn't.
We're gonna try to help them out, like we talked, but we'll do a GoFundMe for him, and we'll buy all the uniforms and the belts and everything he needs, and we'll ship everything out there to him so that way they can have good stuff.
Yes. That's it's like I said, if it was Kuwait, we know they have money. Morocco, we know they have money. But when you look at this country, they're very poor, very poor. Yeah. So with that, you can't help but try to support them in one way or another. So.
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's pretty rough, when you see that kind of stuff. It just breaks my heart sometimes. I've had people that in the past has come into my studio, and I can see that it's dirt poor. And I usually never charge them, and I give them the uniforms and stuff like that to help them out. When I can see with my own eyes how bad it is, or they come to borrow money because they can't eat, and so I'll pay for their food for the month, but it's hard, it's touching to your heart when you see stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yes. And the other thing too, Professor Othman did, a lot of his instructors before they came to KAJUKENBO came from different disciplines. Whether it was Judo, Karate, Aikido, they came with good quality to KAJUKENBO. So besides doing KAJUKENBO, they have other enhancements that help with the creativity of learning KAJUKENBO here. So yeah, I've heard many times, well, the flipping, the throwing, and so forth. Well,
Yeah.
that's not what they actually do when they teach their KAJUKENBO classes. So try to keep a strict curriculum, and they use the other disciplines as a means to enhance the school itself. So
yeah, because he's been with me for a few years and stuff. And I know Aldo Costco had promoted him, I think, and Mike Santos, and so he had a KAJUKENBO background, when he came to me, But like I said, I did skip him because of the him be able to be the only one in Egypt to teach KAJUKENBO. I didn't want somebody else coming in there and taking his place.
well,
Yeah.
in Egypt, he is the only one that can teach KAJUKENBO. Something with the government that requires certain people to be able to organize the different arts, and so his is, I believe, his is in KAJUKENBO and Kenpo, and anyone that he wants to learn it actually have to go through him, or even the open school. So it has to be approved by him.
That's what a lot of people out there, they didn't understand, so they're kind of questioning why I did that. And even when I explained to them why, I still get the ignorant people that just want to talk crap and stuff like that, and they won't really listen to what I'm saying, And like I try explaining to them, I go, I want somebody that knows KAJUKENBO, that's under us, not some guy that doesn't know KAJUKENBO and says he knows KAJUKENBO and passing out certificates and charging people an arm and a leg for him, like one of the guys did in Morocco. I don't want to mention his name, but and I think Othman had to deal with the guy too. I think he was selling like purple belt certificates for like $400. And I didn't want someone in there doing that. And that's why the people out there, they don't understand why I did it, or they really do, and they don't care. They just want to talk shit, So I just kind of, I'm kind of glad that you're there and you see with your own eyes, so that way they see it's just not coming from me. It's coming from a reputable guy.
Yeah, well, just add on to that, the people got to realize that they're a socialist country, and the government controls everything. They don't control it. Everything has government. Because I've been in the Middle East numerous times, I understand the culture. I understand how the government works and so forth, because I dealt with them when I was here. So, each Arab country is going to be different than others. But as far as Egypt is the only Arab country that has a certification program that everyone's trying to capitalize on it. But they just can't certify just anybody. They have certain requirements, and there are a lot of other KAJUKENBO practitioners that are trying to get their certification through Egypt, but a lot of them get rejected because they don't meet the requirements of the.
Exactly. Yeah, I had to write letters and stuff, and I think you had to write letters to Egypt. I'm not Egypt, but Kuwait too. I think it was in Kuwait. You had to write a letter too.
I wrote a letter for Morocco, actually.
Oh, Morocco, yeah.
Right, but then the same person that you know of, actually, I kind of got conned into it, but anyways, hey, I like to see the martial art grow, but the person.
Well, he tried conning me too, so you ain't the only one.
Yeah, it happens.
It is what it is, But that's why I'm glad. That's why with Darius now he's taking over all of Morocco, because we sent him the right paperwork. he did it the right way. The first time he did it, he didn't do it the right way, and he spent 3 months in jail because he didn't do it the right way. They put him in jail for 3 months
They will.
because because he did it the wrong way. But so now all his paperwork's in. He's the rank he holds. He's got his stuff down. Now he's taking over all of Morocco to be able to teach KAJUKENBO legally.
So I wonder how
Right.
many of those haters are willing to spend some time in jail for KAJUKENBO.
Yeah, none
Well,
of them.
Yeah.
They won't get
Plus,
behind the keyboard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, if you don't meet the requirements of the government, they can
Sure.
lose their certification as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I was talking to one of the KA members. He started when I started karate. In KAJUKENBO, we started in the same class as white belts, you know. But he's I don't think he's training anymore. But anyway, we had talked, and he put something on Facebook that was kind of silly, and so I explained everything to him. He kind of understood, but then his thing was, well, frankly, I don't give a shit about Egypt or Morocco. Just so I told him, I go, yeah, I know you don't, but I do. I go, I'm not gonna let them get walked all over. I go, that's what you guys aren't understanding. You know, you're thinking one way, but you're not looking at the whole picture. You know how you say the glass of wine is either half empty or half full. You know, they're not looking at it that way. You know, and that's what they need to do. They need to open their eyes up and understand why, instead of throwing knives and daggers at, you know, well, basically me. You know.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You know, it's just I don't know, just kind of, you know, it's because it's crazy. You know, like I said, I caught myself the other day. You know, like I was telling Seafood Dave. You know, I caught myself the other day angry about it and stuff, and going back and forth. And I sat that night and I thought, how silly. Because, like I said, you know, after that, you know, I got people from all over the world get a hold of me. You know, oh, we got your back. You know, we will support you 100%. You know, and this is countries from all over the world. So it was kind of touching when I got those messages from everybody. You know, and
That's
like
good.
I said, the haters, it's the same people, so it's not anybody really different. You know, so but so it kind of like backfires when they do that. You know,
Well, it only makes it more popular too. So,
what do they call it? They get their 15 minutes of fame. You know,
yeah,
I mean
well,
that's what it is. You know, they get in there. You know,
that's true.
I think that.
Well, you know, you have your friend that loves to run in, run out, you know, with comments and.
Oh yeah.
But you know, I was talking to Professor Othman the other day, and I said, you know, what's so funny? It's only one person, and if that person thinks that his comments is going to make a difference,
Yeah.
well, what about the other ones that aren't saying anything now? So.
Yeah.
So, and as you know me, I don't let things like that faze me. I tell it as it is, and as you know,
I seen your post today to the other guy that was talking crap, and you did a great job. You're nice and peaceful, a complete opposite of me. I was going bye 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 bye. Yeah, you're so nice, but you made to the point. It made him feel pretty stupid. You know, doing it in a nice way. You know, and I usually shut up. You know. So I mean, you know, it's cool, you know. Like I said, but what starts it is mainly what started it was the guy we're talking about in Morocco. You know, I don't know his name, but his son's the one that posted something. I'm pretty sure posted to him about Professor Othman, and then all the same trolls hop on the bandwagon, and they just don't let it go. You know, and then attack me, attack everybody that says anything. You know, they block Dave, keep with Dave, right, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I was pretty respectful with everything I said. You know, I mean, I've been kind of you know, one to voice my opinion on politics and the martial arts. You know, for the last couple of years, and made a video on that as well, where I talked about that. But I think what's important for people to really think about is before you open your mouth, you know, you ought to probably look into it a little bit, not just take somebody's word for it and then jump on that bandwagon and judge someone.
Sure.
You don't know that person. You don't know their experiences. You don't know, you know, what they've done. You don't know what they did before they came to you, that sort of thing. So take the time to actually look into that. And if you really care enough to judge somebody and to make a statement about it, you should probably know what you're talking about before you do that. So, to jump on the bandwagon based off of some guy who's posting something and he doesn't even have the courage to put his name on there. He calls himself anonymous, and then when I mentioned that, you've got several people in Arahana that started defending the guy. Well, that's because Senior Grandmaster's gonna, come at him all angry. No, he's defending himself,
Yeah.
and then that's the sad thing, I think, in my opinion, is you shouldn't have someone who is a senior grandmaster in KAJUKENBO or a grandmaster or a professor or just any black belt in KAJUKENBO have to defend to anybody else who they promoted. That's, if I promote somebody, that's my decision.
Sure.
Right. So after I promote that guy, I live with that decision, whether it's a good decision or a bad decision. Right. And I'm sure that all of us throughout our time in KAJUKENBO will make mistakes, and we'll promote people who go, well, why did I promote that guy? I probably shouldn't have. Probably doesn't make as big of a deal, except for when you start getting up there where you're promoting people to higher ranks.
Yeah.
But you may have your own opinions on what you think. Like one of these individuals has made the statement that there's too many professors and there's too many grandmasters in KAJUKENBO. Well, that may be your opinion, right? But here's my opinion, if they deserve it, they can promote it. You don't hold them back just because, there's a lot of professors and there's a lot of grandmasters. If they've met those requirements, they've met those standards, then you promote them to the rank that you think they deserve. And whose opinion it matters when it comes to, do they deserve it? The guy doing the promoting, right? So when somebody promotes somebody, you don't think somebody deserve that promotion, or it's natural to feel a little bit of like, how come I didn't get promoted, or whatever, a little jealousy or something, or what have you, which creates that spirit of competition and everything else, or whatever. Let's face it, a lot of us are alpha personalities, and alpha personalities tend to seem to think that we have to share our opinions with others. Heck, I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
But
even with Great Grandmaster Gaylord, when he did a couple of promotions, we didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
Just not me. Several of us didn't. But we never, questioned it because he's the man. We were under. So, and if we questioned it, either got our ass kicked or. Like I was talking to Tom the other day, and he questioned it one time. They told him to question it, and Gaylord didn't talk to him for like 3 years, he said. So you just don't do that. And now these guys, they're little kids and they're following. I call them little kids, but they're probably in their 28, 30 years old, but they're little kid to me. But they talk crap, and they weren't even born when I was in karate, so they have no respect whatsoever. And if any of my students would talk that way to any grandmaster, I would hella be pissed. I put them in their place. They have no respect whatsoever.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it always seems to dive into like a slugfest, so to speak, of, okay, let me continue to try to throw more dirt at you to see what sticks,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd never even think of speaking to either one of you the way that some of that stuff came up. And granted, I guess they weren't technically speaking to you, they were speaking to me on a lot of those things, right? But about you, and of course I'm going to stick up for you. I mean, if somebody talks trash about your Sifu, you're going to say something, right? You're not just going to be like, oh no, okay, yeah, that's cool, yeah, keep talking that trash, No. In fact, even when we were providing them some examples of promotions and things that have happened that that they're trying to say that you should have done this or that, they even started defending their instructor. Oh, don't talk trash about my instructor. I'm not, I'm just passing along what Senior Grandmaster said, and he's really not talking trash. He's just giving you an example, and of course, one of those ended up not being correct and whatnot, and you took onus of that and corrected yourself. But now you've got people even calling you professor in the group chat, you know, if Professor Hemenes and Professor in capitals bold, you know,
Next week I'll be a white belt.
yeah, I don't
They have me as
understand,
a white belt.
you know,
And Grandmaster New was one of the ones that promoted me as Grandmaster. He's my senior.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that?
Grandmaster New, explain to you about they're picking on because Vargas's name was on that certificate too. They're saying that now that certificate doesn't count.
Well, they're wrong. You can't take back any promotion that's given out to you. Just like going to college and then, you know, oh, well, we're going to take back that business degree of yours. So no, doesn't matter who the individual is. There's no ways they can take your rank back. That's been they may disassociate you from that organization that they're part of, which is okay, but they can't take away your promotion. I don't know where these guys are getting all these comments from, but no.
Well, I had one guy. I laughed. He said that Aldo Costco's signature was forged. I started laughing. I go, I was there when he signed it.
Yeah, I was sitting next to him actually.
Yeah.
So,
Funny.
all three signatures were wet.
Yeah.
Well, the way I looked at it too is when I looked at his certificate, you know, I think it actually stated in there, you know, Senior Grandmaster Vargas and Aldo Costco's promote, you know, and then your name was also physically typed into that certificate, you know, so and everybody's trying to say essentially that, well, it takes 2 grandmasters to promote somebody to grandmaster because it's the same rank, right? And I was like, okay, well, there's 3 of them on there that signed it. Actually, there's 6 grandmasters that signed it. And
all senior grandmasters signed it.
Yeah. And he's like,
no grandmaster, all senior grandmasters.
I'm like, okay, so if I put my name to something and I sign it, that's saying I agree with it. I'm not going to go ahead and just, you know, no, I'm just here to witness this. This isn't a Las Vegas, you know, wedding where, hey, excuse me, these 2 people are getting married. Can you come over here and, you know, sign as a witness that you saw it? That's not how KAJUKENBO works. Right.
No. And you know, when that certificate was passed around well, not passed around, but we got promoted in Hawaii in the Panama settlements. As a senior grandmaster New knows that we could have had a lot of those grandmasters around there sign that certificate, but I didn't want them on there because I didn't know who they were. You know, besides Dela Cruz, I didn't know who they were really. I didn't met them and stuff. I wanted only top senior grandmasters on my certificate that are recognized people. I could have put, 20 certificates on there. Had everybody I could think of sign that certificate. But I only wanted top senior grandmasters to sign that. And look, and that's who signed them. All top 6 senior grandmasters. You know. So I mean, it's just silly, you know. They can't think of anything better to come up with, you know. So
well,
I don't know.
People have the tendency of creating their own gestures and their own individual rules, but they haven't been around long enough to understand what KAJUKENBO protocol is. There's a lot of that today, and you look at some of the younger ones that's coming in, they just promote people grandmaster. So is that right? Should they do that? Well, in KSDI, you have a board that handles those type of promotion. Only if you're a KSDI member. Then you have the different organizations on the outside that have theirs.
But the KSDI board doesn't like you, you don't get that degree.
That's right. But
that's the thing.
As far as my organization, I always have 5, 6, or even 8 grandmasters.
Yeah.
prison. Is because I want to make sure that no one can come back and say anything. And these are all top grandmasters.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
they're apart from the old days. You know, it's been around even before I you know, before I got started. So
Yeah. Well, Vargas did the same thing when he was brought up to me about the Grandmaster thing. I was like, okay, you know, me and Sid Lopez, and then and he wanted to get all these signatures, and I said, I don't care as long as yours on there, you know, I don't care. I didn't care what anybody thought, you know. And so then he said, no. He goes, I want to do it right. I want only top grandmaster sign your certificate, so no one can come back and say anything like they are now, you know, because
right.
you guys had signed it and everything, you know. And plus, you know, I've been in the martial arts. It was 1970. I mean, I don't, you know, I'm, you know, longer than that probably, you know, but you know, it is what it is, you know. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting too, because I know like during our video or that last video we did, we were talking about how you and Sid Lopez were both promoted at the same time by the same individuals on the steps of the Palama settlement. And for those of you who don't know, Sid Lopez was also my instructor when I started KAJUKENBO.
That's right, it was.
So for the first 5.5 years, I was under Sid Lopez. So I'm very familiar with him and his talents, and he's a very good martial artist. Unfortunately, he's had some other issues in his life that we won't get into. But thing about that is, though, and what I really wanted to say is essentially that statement you made is if they don't like you, they won't accept you. Well, they accepted Sid. You know? You know, and both of you were promoted at the same time by the same people, right? In the same location.
And almost to the date, to the day we signed up together. And they accepted him and not me.
So that kind of blows away that whole theory of, well, you were promoted by an illegitimate grandmaster. Okay, well, what about the other 5 guys that signed the certificate? You know, I mean, you can't tell me that, you know, Sifu Aldecascos is an illegitimate grandmaster. I mean, heck, he was involved in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
You know, Chun Pai, Chun Fa, Won Hop Kundo, you know, so, you know, to me, it's just kind of, you know, a lot of the politicking and a lot of the, this stuff needs to stop. Granted, will it? I don't think it ever will. You know, I think you'll always guys.
Well, plus I got this too. I got oh, you're making a ton of money selling certificates. I don't sell certificates. Well, the 6 years I was with Vargas, from white belt to student black belt, I never once got charged for a certificate. Not the belt, nothing. We earned it. He gave it to us. When I was with Great Grandmaster Gaylord all those years, and all my degrees I got from him, not one time did he charge us. You know, so I do the same thing with my guys. I don't charge them. I tell them if they want to do a $25 donation, that's to have a certificate made, and I mail it to you. And it usually costs more than the $25 to mail it, so it's out of my pocket. But if they don't have the $25, I don't charge them. I just pay it out of my own pocket. So that's the myth that they're going around and they're trying to say, and that's so far from it. You know, I mean, you know, I hate to bring up KSDI, you know, but you know they charge what I think it is now. They raised it to $200 for the promotion. Well, like you said, you do, you know, 20 promotions, that's $4,000. You know, I mean, you can do the math. I mean, you know, so that's why I don't want to hear, you know, if you're going to throw stones, you better not throw it in glass houses, you know.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, you know, my experiences, you know, with you has been a very positive one, you know. You know, you've been a great mentor to me, and you know, helping me to get where I need to be, you know. And I think what's really funny is you know, with that whole Sid Lopez connection, one of the first things you told me was you need to forget all that and you need to learn the Gaylord method. You know, when you brought me into your organization, and you know, you correct me when I'm wrong. If I, you know, post a video that's not 100% correct, you message me, hey, You need to fix this, you know.
Yeah,
and
11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
11 o'clock at night, I got my son with my video camera. You gotta do it like this.
yeah, you know, so
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. But I mean, I don't, you know, people always like to yell and talk and, you know, well, standards, you know, standards. And then those same people at the other corner of their mouth are saying, well, I don't teach all the forms. I only do 6 punch counters, I only do 6 grab arts. You know,
Well, you've done a great job. I mean, Senior Grandmaster, he's done a great job because when he came to me, you know, we had made him a student black belt, and he had 6 months to learn everything. He did everything he's supposed to did. So we gave him his first degree. Now he's got his own school. He's teaching. He's got his own talk show. And look at him today. He's sitting here with 2 top senior grandmasters interviewing us. That's pretty good accomplishment, I think.
yeah.
Well, absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you all taking the time here, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, granted, you know, I mean, and it's funny because I'm also a 40-year black belt. You know, I mean, I started my training back in probably 1983.
Yeah.
You know, with Sid Lopez when I was 13 years old, you know. I don't want to say unfortunately, because, you know, it was a good experience. I ended up joining the military and I went active duty in 1988 prior to getting my black belt. You know, and I think one of the toughest things about that was, you know, yeah, finding a KAJUKENBO school, especially before the internet, not so easy. You know, and even with the internet, you know, you go to kajukenbo.org and things like that. You can't find another KAJUKENBO school. You try to call the number, they don't answer. They went out of business. You know, they moved. You name it. You know, you know, basically word of mouth is how a lot of that works. You know, and it's very difficult. And then even once you do find another school, yeah, they'll respect the rank that you have from the other instructor. But you know what? To get more rank, guess what you got to do? You got to learn all their techniques. Okay.
Sure.
But, you know, Sid Lopez is technically Chun Fa, right? And it was probably a lot more Kung Fu than a lot of people do. You know, then I got involved in another school down in La Mesa, California. And I think that was actually Mr. Black's school there. And, you know, I think it was one of his instructors that was actually teaching there, because I don't think it was actually Vince Black. But you know, I told Senior Grandmaster Floorback about it. He's, oh, that's Vince Black's school, because there was a chiropractor table in there and everything. He cracked me after I got in a car wreck and all sorts of stuff. It was crazy, you know. But that was a, you know, Imperato method. Okay, so it was Chun Fa, Imperato, you know. And so now I'm like, okay, so let me relearn everything. You know. And then of course it was always before I transferred was when I found him, you know. And that's one big difference between the Navy and the Air Force, Senior Grandmaster, is you guys at least are on land and usually in the same area, except for when you deploy for some kind of contingency operation or something like that.
Right.
Well, in the Navy, we have ships, and ships go to sea. You know? So not only for our deployments, but also when we do training, we have to go out, you know, and do our things out at sea, you know. So that made it very difficult to dedicate any period of time in my life, in the 26 years before I retired, you know, to do that. And then of course, anytime I did shore duties, they were shore duties that were not easy shore duties, you know, so I didn't have a lot of time to do what I wanted to and find somebody and everything. So I did a lot of working out on my own. But 40 years, you know, I finally got my student black belt, you know. Now I'm a first degree black belt. And oh, by the way, I was first degree like 2 years ago, I think. You know, so it's not like boom, 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 you know, let me promote you. That's not happening with me. Okay. So I don't know. I'll go and throw that out there. And I know that one of the things people say, well, technically you're not a seafood. No, I'm not. I'm a Seabach. Okay. But I have my own school. And that's why Senior Grandmaster basically started calling me Sifu. And that's why I use the title Sifu, because, you know, I'm teaching. You know, so there you have it. You know, there's another example of the other extreme, you know, where people seem to think that things are happening that I don't think are happening. I don't see that, you know, and I can only speak to my own personal experience, you know, and I can't tell you why Senior Grandmaster makes the decision that he makes to promote somebody else somewhere else. Okay. Their story is unique to them. Okay. And that story is between them and senior grandmaster, you know? So when people start to question that, I mean, I can't say I've never called him up and said, hey, what's going on with that? And he tells me, you know, I'm not going to tell him he's wrong. That's not my place. You know, I said, oh, you know, I might say something about it, you know, but I'm not going to, you know, say the things that have been said in, you know, in public.
Well, these last two promotions, I had to. There was a reason why I had to do it. It wasn't, you know, just because of the thing. It was the government thing, you know. But you know, it is what it is.
And I think you did a pretty decent job of explaining that in the last video that we did, you know. And then of course, got some people that are like, well, I'm not going to watch that. I can't watch that stuff, you know. Okay, then don't shut your mouth, you know, is my opinion. You know, and opinions, you know, well, you know, what they say about those, I won't get into that. I'm sure if you've been a military man, you'll know the saying. But you know, and then being in the military as well, you know, I've had, you know, plenty of experience with chain of command and things like that, you know, and that's the martial part of things that a lot of people don't understand. You know, so if you're a school teacher or a librarian, you know, or philosopher, or you know, what have you, a psychiatrist, or, you know, whatever you do in life, you may not understand chain of command unless you've been in the military. Well, and that's one of those things, you know, senior grandmaster, professor, you know, all of those people, you pretty much, you know, that's a rank structure, right?
Structure. Absolutely.
And I understand that very well being ex-military, you know, so I guess I have a different opinion, you know, and the way I talk to people is probably a little bit less inflammatory, or at least I try to make it that way. But, you know, retiring as a master chief in the Navy, yeah, I got used to being able to say what I wanted to say as well.
Absolutely.
know.
Absolutely.
But, you know, so I mean, it is what it is, and I understand, you know, people are very very proud of what they've accomplished and proud of their, you know, their training and proud of their art, you know, and you know, I'm not saying, you know, don't ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. Do it in the right way, you know.
Yeah, I tell everybody that too. And in my videos, I always at the end, here's my phone number. I know most of them don't want to put the phone number out, but I do. Here's my phone number. Give me a call. Well, you call me, talk to me like a man, one-on-one. Don't start calling me names and, you know, stupid comments I don't want to say. You know, then nothing gets done. You know, then we just start calling each other names and they hang up on each other. Anytime, just question. You know, hey, what's, you know, da 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 da. Okay, boom. You know, this is why. Oh, okay, now I understand why.
Well, I think
I might
you know,
not agree, but I can understand. You know.
unfortunately, a lot of people don't teach the, you know, the tenets of KAJUKENBO. They don't teach the philosophy type part of that. And you know, the philosophy is not just saying that KAJUKENBO is a mindset. Okay, sure, it is. But there's a lot more to that, you know. You know, there's a lot of qualities that come into, you know, being a martial artist, you know, and I think honor, respect, and sincerity, loyalty, you know, all of those things are things that aren't really taught anymore, you know, or they pick and choose on how they do it. I'm just kind of curious, you know, what would you think? What do you think about the whole concept of another black belt saying another KAJUKENBO black belt? I'll tell you what, I'll meet you on the mat or out in the parking lot.
What do you think, Senior Grandmaster?
Happened a couple years ago. But person apologized.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's
that's they shouldn't be black belts actually, because that's the you know, that's not setting an example for the students and
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That you know, that we're supposed to be role models, and a lot of you grandmasters are out there are not doing that. You know, they forgot what our role as instructors are. And yeah, I came across that situation several years back with a board member, but then I told him, you want to get on the floor, let's do it, right in front of everybody. And then he backed off. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, in all the martial arts years I've been in martial arts, and I'm including in karate tournaments, I never really seen a real fight. People get mad and get heated and stuff like that, but I never seen anybody, you know, out in the parking lot just swinging away at each other. You know, especially, you know, two grandmasters doing that. I mean, you'd make total assholes out of yourself doing that. And so like I said, when he said that, you know, I was just kind of laughing because, and he knows better than that. I mean, plus it'd be a mistake going on the mat. You know, it's I weigh 100 pounds more than him. You know, but you know, it was just silly. It was silly for him to even say that. Like you said, you know, it showed a bad example to his students.
right. Well, you know, I wasn't going to throw blows or anything. You know, I was just throwing his bluff, and
Of course,
the bluff.
yeah.
You know, I guess probably he bullied a lot of other people. I don't know, but the thing, when you know, I did his bluff, and there was an apology after.
You called him on it, yeah, of course. Yeah, because a lot of them will shoot their mouth off, and then when you see him in person, it's like, oh, hey, you know, let's just forget about that. Let's give a hug, you know, da 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 da. You know, this is a funny story because I was talking to he's not KAJUKENBO, he's a Taekwondo guy from in the past competing in the circuit when I did, and it was about a couple of years ago. We got into it big time. We were talking hella shit to each other back and forth, you know. And then he sees me at Mark Gary's party, and instead of talking shit, the first thing that came out of his mouth is all, "Holy shit, you're a big guy." You know, because I was skinny back then, you know, and then, but nothing bad came out of either one of our mouths. You know, it was like we take pictures together and stuff, but you know, we were going at it on the thing. But you know, and when we seen him in person, I told Mark, I said, "Oh shit, I don't want to see him," you know, because he's got into it. But like I said, when he sees me, he's looking at me and he's like, "Oh, you got big." Because I mean, if he remembers me when I was younger, I only weighed 150 pounds. Now I weigh 285. You know, so it was just funny, you know. But you know, of course, I know better than that. I'm not gonna go start no fight, swinging and hitting anybody. It's just not gonna happen. But I called his bluff, like you said.
Yeah.
You
know, it's not worth it. You know, you get into a situation like that, the cops get called in, you get students looking at you, and it's just a total embarrassment. Not just between the two, but the whole art itself.
Oh yeah. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like Mark Gary said, I guess the same guy that I can make his name, the same guy that talked crap to me really bad on the phone. He did the same thing to Mark Gary, but face to face. And Harper had to tell him to stop. But like Mark said, he goes, he's too big. I can't beat him in a fight. He goes, but let him hit me. When he hits me, I'll put him in jail. He goes, and I'll take everything he has for the rest of his life. He'll owe me because you get the best lawyers. So a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, go ahead, and I'll sue you. You'll lose your house. You're gonna get, put in jail and all that stuff like that. So you better think twice. Joe Myers always told me that the sword is always mightier. I mean, the pen is mightier than the sword. That's what he told me. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it was just
Well, I think you got to think about not just what you're saying to somebody and whether it's correct or not, but what are you doing to KAJUKENBO as a whole when you're sitting around in a chat room that's not just KAJUKENBO, that there's plenty of other people there. What does that do to our reputation? And people ask everybody, well, why is KAJUKENBO not as popular as Gracie Jiu-Jitsu? Well, I bet you a lot of the people in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu aren't acting like some KAJUKENBO people are acting, and shooting their mouths off as much as they do, and trash talking the other guy, I mean, think about that for a second and how that affects the reputation of our Ohana as a whole, and then you've got people questioning, well, I remember seeing this thing on Facebook in this chat room where they were talking about this guy was not legit and this and that and everything else, and merely because somebody supports somebody you don't like, then you start questioning their legitimacy. Just because they're a part of that organization. You know,
Mm.
that's not right. Don't say, well, the more you support him, the more I question your legitimacy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I support my instructor, because I support my Sifu, and I have loyalty. Now
Mm.
you're going to question my legitimacy because of that.
Sure.
On people,
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. I mean, come on, they
Yeah.
grow up, start acting like men, and stop acting like a bunch of old ladies sitting around bitching and whining and gossiping about what somebody else is doing.
And it's the same people too.
And you may not like it, but even if you don't like it, okay, let's just say, for example, everything you think is 100% true. What can you do about it?
Nothing really. Nothing.
I mean, it's not going to
Well,
fix.
even in Hawaii, and like I said, I know who the top guys are, like Senior here and Alan De La Cruz and all those guys. But then I see some of the other ones. I mean, I'm not going, what the hell? How the hell that guy get it? Him and the wife walking around with the wife's walking around a grandmaster belt, and the other one's got everybody's got a grandmaster belt on. I'm thinking, okay, I don't even know who you are. That's why they want them to sign my certificates. So everybody knows who the main people are. I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm just, I'm just like, okay, I'm just like, that just kind of tripped me out the first time I seen that. I didn't expect that, because I knew who the top guys were.
Well, I'm kind of curious about that too. I mean, I know I've asked Senior Grandmaster Hemenes about this before, but Senior Grandmaster New, what is your thought on so the BOA, okay, has started actually also pulling in people from other branches and other organizations and things like that. But I'm curious though, is as far as being a senior grandmaster, seeing all these grandmasters who are not senior grandmasters being a part of the BOA. My opinion, as somebody who's been a part of a military chain of command for over 30 years, and well, not to mention all the time I've been in martial arts, but I would think that they'd want some of those senior grandmasters to be leading KAJUKENBO. But it seems like that a lot of people with the title senior grandmaster are not part of the BOA. What are your thoughts on that?
My first thought is it's a boys' club. The BOA is like a boys' club. There should be older guys like Aldakowska's on it, and like second generation type of grandmasters on it. There's too many young guys on that board.
Exactly.
And there's not a lot of decision that's coming out of it is not really good decisions. There has been many grandmasters that have been trying to get me to come back to KSCI. Well, like I tell everybody, not just KSCI, let's clean house first before we decide to join clubs.
Yeah.
Everybody's got some cleaning to do, and it starts with the seniors.
Yeah.
I see it all the time, and it's just like how we were talking. People trashing each other. That tells me that their teachers aren't teaching them right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't trash people. If you're trashing them, then you're an image of your teacher. So your teacher must be trashing other people as well. So that's why I don't join different groups. I was asked by Senior here to be an advisor, which I said, I'll go ahead and do it, because I know Senior for a while. And, we've been good friends for quite a while. A lot of guys tell me, nah, don't go over there. Well, it's my choice.
Yeah.
That I'm going to help somebody, because Emperado did say when we used to get together at Henry Mendex, Senior Grandmaster Henry Mendex's house, he used to tell us all the time, one family, one Ohana, and our job is to teach and improve other people's martial art. I mean, Kaju. So I don't see that going on. But
Yeah.
I follow it. I follow it to the T. So it's something
Well,
something he
Well,
wanted.
I know a lot of people on the BOA. I'm not gonna mention the name, but they all said they don't want to be part of it because they're one of the senior grandmasters on there, and that if he wasn't there, they'd come back. Now I'm not gonna mention his name, but that's what was told to me by several different people. A couple of the senior grandmasters that said that actually passed away, but they had told me ahead of time that that's why they left. So like you said, they need to clean house.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Everybody has some cobweb in their closet, and
Well,
I don't. Yeah, I don't exclude none of us, but some need to clean more. So
yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. I always said a long time ago about a board be able to shows who gets promoted to a 8th or 9th degree, because if it was a fair board, and if you're just looking at paper, the application, and you cover the name up and you read the whole application, that's what you should go by. But see, they lift their finger up and they see that name and they go, that guy's an asshole. I don't like that guy. Now let's not put him in there. You see, that's the part's not fair. If you cover the name up and you just read it like mine and Sid's, there, but besides the compliment, I did had more accomplishments, but the time was to almost to the day, everything. But they approved him and didn't approve of me. And Kenji told me the next day, oh, Hemenes, that's because you didn't have enough time. I go, what are you talking about? I had the same amount of time as Sid had. We'll get you next time. He hits me on the shoulder. Well, there ain't gonna be no next time. And that's the thing, you block the name off and you just go by that. And that's why I think, it would work out better. Just the way it is, my opinion. I said Alan Reyes used to always do that. After every saying he abbreviated this, but it's just my opinion. And everything he wrote, he always put that in the bottom, but just my opinion. Just me and Alan Reyes he was like my mentor, when I was coming up. We were close friends. So it was sad to see him pass, But yeah, it was close. But anyway, we better wrap this up, Dave. We're gonna have a 2-hour video.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long we've been talking, but who knows? Maybe I could cut some dead space out here and there, but we'll see.
We don't have any dead space. Okay,
No.
Senior Grandmaster New, give us your final thoughts of the video or the interview.
The interview, well, it's good that we're able to share Egypt's legitimacy of being an actual KAJUKENBO school out here. Like I said before, I was kind of taken back because I was expecting something different. And I was going off hearsay because I didn't know the professor, and I didn't know what to expect when I got here, but I was wrong. And we've been busy since the seminar. We've been busy going to some of the different organizations because part of the professor's thing here is to bond other martial arts together, which he has. He's done a great job doing that. I kind of want to put it to rest that, even though I say this, there always will be people out there that say, well, you
Oh.
know, they're not a school. But you know what? I'm here, they're not. And if they really believe that he's not, then they need to get on an airplane, fly out here, train with him, and
Yeah.
bond. And
Exactly.
that way they'll get firsthand knowledge and probably leave here happy.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, or next day when you go to the pyramids, I want to see you on a camel. I can post that picture. That'd be a good picture.
Yeah.
You know, I know
Yeah,
when I was supposed to go, I told Othman, I go, hey, I want to ride in a camel. He said, okay, we'll put you in a camel.
Well, I have a recommendation for you. Lose some weight because, you know, if you're really big and you get on a camel, you're going to look funny.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. A couple of years ago, I was going to go horseback riding up here, and I'd done it before. And then my kid's mother would tell you, oh, let's go horseback riding. I go, okay. So we called, and they are all, oh, we have a weight limit. If you weigh 200 pounds up, you can't get on the horse. And they weigh you ahead of time. If you think you're heavy, they weigh you. And if you weigh over 200 pounds, you can't ride the horse. He said the horse will buck you off.
Dang, I was over 200 pounds when I was in high school.
Yeah, I'm used to that. You know, I only weighed 150 pounds. I used to fight lightweight division. And I was fine until I got married to my first wife. And then she cooked so much. I was saying, what the hell? And I'm like at 175. They see, I'm gaining more weight, you know. And as you get older, it gets harder. And because of my knees and my hips right now, I can't really do too much. But, you know, yeah, I look back at some of the pictures. I'm like, damn, I was skinny. Not anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
All right.
But, well, I thank you both for, you know, chatting with us.
It's been a pleasure, and I really appreciate the two of you taking the time to sit down with me and talk about these things and get some things clarified. Appreciate that, and appreciate that. You know,
I know Professor Othman was supposed to be here today too, but I think he probably had to work, Senior.
Yeah. So, because he and I was supposed to go somewhere after the interview here, so well, I can go back to sleep, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, he's hiding. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You know. Thank you, Senior. Thank you, Dave. Super Dave.